Hey guys, still TLR for Life here once again. What I wanted to do separate was actually a review of how I feel about this, the Keep-Off engine. Okay, I realized what was going on in the driveway when I made that video and I had that lean bog situation. What happens with these engines is when they get broken in, they start to richen up as they loosen up. So I think what was going on is I was going a little bit too lean too fast. The engine is finally starting to loosen up. There is about a little over a gallon run through this now with the race day Saturday. So at the track, after I was running it, the engine started not cleaning out at top end. It was starting to richen up, so I had to lean it a little bit more, and the engine finally found its happy spot, and it's just really starting to come alive now. The bottom end is just ridiculous on this motor. The fuel consumption is pretty good. I ran for, I think, well, I didn't really get to run a full tank through it because of the runs were, the race was only 7 minutes, but on a full tank, I still have just under a half a tank left, or still had a half a tank left. So yeah, it still holds a really good idle. The tune on it is just great. I had to lean it out probably 3 hours, which is about almost a quarter of a turn. And as it continues to get looser, because when you roll this engine over, you can still feel that it is very tight, which is a good thing. So it's probably going to continue to want to be leaned out. I just don't want to be too fast with it. You know, you don't want to lack lubrication in the motor, especially when it's still doing the final stages of break-in. The average of a Nova Rossi engine is about 1.5 gallons or so, sometimes more, for a complete break-in. You know, when everything is finally matched 100%, you have zero resistance and just good compression. So my thoughts on this engine are, wow. I really don't have too many words for it. I'm very impressed with this engine. I can't wait to get the Keep-Off 7 to see how that's going to perform in the Truggy. So what I need to do now is just kind of clean her up. I'm going to take her, give her first tear down and inspection, which I highly doubt anything's wrong other than the wing breaking. The track wasn't that big or brutal on the car, so I highly doubt anything's even close to bent or wore out. Still too new of a vehicle for that anyway. It's a little bit dirty. It ran an indoor track. This filter actually lasted me. It's not even that dirty, and this lasted me all day. I really didn't even have to change it. That is the good thing about indoor track. It's very wet. Hardly any dust at all. So the filter, I could probably just get away with cleaning the outside. The inside underneath is really clean, so I can probably get away with cleaning this one at least once. If they get caked with dirt, I don't like to do it, but I can just take the outside off and probably clean it and just re-oil that and be done with it. Yeah, other than that, this thing handled really well. The engine performed great, like I was saying. I didn't have to make any low-end adjustments. The only thing I had to do was lean out the top a little bit and take my idle gap, and I opened it up just a tick, and it was still dropping down and idling like it was in the last video. Just as it loosens up, you have to do some final tweaking. Just kind of listen to it and stay on top of that. Other than that, it was pretty much hassle-free. I didn't flame out at all. I usually never do anyway. But I had no issues at all. And the handling of this buggy is night and day difference. If anybody owns a 2.0 and wants to get a 3.0, it is like a complete different car. It's pretty much stuck to the track. The big bore shocks, the larger big bore shocks help this thing out tremendously. What I ended up doing, because the track was so smooth, is I lowered the ride height about 1.5 millimeters I kept the buggy completely level all the way around. I went from 29 millimeters to 27.5 in the front, 27.5 in the rear. Helped out tremendously. I'm running the long Ackerman right now. I'm going to switch to the short Ackerman. People were saying that it hits their, when they had the long Ackerman, that the steering link hits the long Ackerman, which is true. It maxes out and stops there when you're turning left. Kind of normal for a Losi. There's really not much you can do about it. The long Ackerman is for like a slower steering response. It's more of a long travel. When you switch to the short, your steering's a little bit quicker, and you might have to slow down your steering servo with your radio if you're starting to traction roll or the car becomes really twitchy with steering adjustments. I think somebody commented, I don't remember his name, he wanted me to ask that, but yes, I am running the long Ackerman, and I'm going to try the short one to see what happens. I ran the short one on my 2.0 buggy, so I just wanted to see what the long Ackerman was going to do for a higher speed track. A smoother track, I should say. I'm gonna test out the short Ackerman on the next race and see. A lot of people seem to like that a lot better. The car just turns a little bit quicker. So, but yeah, mainly it was supposed to be for the engine review, what I think of it, and I love it. 41021 header, 9901 pipe, and the keep off engine seems to be just smooth everywhere. As long as you get the tune set to where you know, you drop down to a good idle, just like in my video of how to get a good idle on your nitro engine. A lot of your tuning is all about your low end. That's where most of the mistakes are made. It's very easy to get your high end set perfect. Then you need to switch over and start tweaking in your low speed needle for a smooth transition from low speed to high speed. Once you get that set, you're going to be golden. It's like having a whole new engine when you get your low end set to where it should be set. So I hope this video helps out, and I appreciate you guys watching. We'll talk to you guys real soon.